For the Japanese are quick learners, one task that most Japanese find challenging is learning English. Part of it is due to certain unique aspects of Japanese language. Today we investigate these. Fusing of consonants and vowels. Just like English, Japanese also has 5 vowels, but their order is slightly different.
A, I, U, E, O.
In English, each consonant has its own sound. For example, K has the sound K. And then when it is combined with the vowels, it produces additional sounds like ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. But in Japanese, the consonants do not have their own sound. So we have only 5 sounds available in the ka line.
Ka, ki, ku, ke, ko.
Let's take the example of the word cake. Phonetically, it sounds like K-E-K. Looking at the sounds that are available in the Japanese language, we have a replacement for K-E, but we do not have the replacement for the single consonant K. At this point, the Japanese try to find out what would be the best match. The closest match is the sounds of ki and ku. In this case, they selected the sound ki.
Keiki.
With experience, some of the Japanese will change the ki to ku and call it as keku. Let's look at a few more words.
Bird. Grape. Dog.
Now let's look at a sentence. I work in a garden.
I walk in a garden.
Now did it sound like walk or work? Let's hear it one more time.
I walk in a garden.
Often the Japanese pronunciation for walk and work would be similar, and this could confuse the listeners. But sometimes this sound-based approach is beneficial. For example, most new learners of English will struggle with the pronunciation of croissant, but most Japanese get the correct pronunciation.
Croissant.
The only exception to the fused consonants and vowels is the na line.
Nani ne no.
Though this fusion of consonants and vowels sometimes leads to confusing pronunciation, with some practice users can pick up these differences. Missing sounds. Some of the common sounds in other languages are missing in Japanese. Let's take a look at the T line. Apart from the basic T, you have the sounds of ta, ti, tu, te, to. But in Japanese, the sound of T and tu is not available. They are replaced by chi and tsu.
Ta, chi, tsu, te, to.
Let's take a few examples. I go to work.
I go to work.
Give me a ticket.
Give me a ticket.
Sip your tea.
Sip your tea.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Due to these missing sounds, some of the Japanese pronunciations sound strange. It can take some time to get used to. The L and R confusion. In Japanese language, the la line is completely missing. So all the sounds starting from la, like la, li, lu, le, lo, is missing. To make up for this, the Japanese speaker replaced the la sound with the ra sound.
Ra, ri, re, re, ro.
Let's take a few examples. This is a lead pipe.
This is a red pipe.
I need a lamp.
I need a lamp.
When it comes to writing, the Japanese speakers face even more problems. It is basically a guesswork when they have to choose between an L and an R. Even the experienced Japanese speakers make mistake in this. My advice to my Japanese friends is to keep trying. Sooner or later, the la sound will become more natural for them. Amongst the challenges that we discussed today, this is probably the biggest one for the Japanese to overcome. Most of the Japanese public schools teach in Japanese, so the Japanese students never have a chance to really practice English. Most of them seriously try after they join a job. This means they need to unlearn 20 years of practicing Japanese sounds to perfect the English sounds, and that's why this becomes such a big challenge for them. If we understand these challenges, then it gives us a better chance to understand when the Japanese communicate with us in English. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Press like and subscribe to support us. Bye.